Okay, so today we gotta go back out into that hostile world and find the other friendship medal handshake that I haven't found yet. Not that one, but okay. Can I do this? Nope. Yeah, there's no running forward with a sword. It's not yet. Maybe the other guy will teach me that at some point. Unfortunately, that was the end of my session, so I've also got to just kind of generally figure out... So can you run on this, by the way? No? Okay. So that counts out the idea of that being useful for the rest of the world's stuff. So that's not going to unlock new traversal in the world. Okay, so if I follow this bridge, I can go past this shooty man. So if I get up there, which means I have to get up there. There we go. Because that goes around to a chest. Just gotta go all the way around this place. I'm going to shoot you in your giant eye. I'm a little worried by the developer's first instinct being, oh, a big, vulnerable eye, better shoot it with a large projectile that will permanently damage it. Okay, can you AI a little better? Thank you. Donkey Shorn. Yahtzee. Kinstone piece, but it's blue. Okay, well, that's not what I'm good. We're good. Everything's good. We're all fine. Well, good news is I got a thing. Bad news is it wasn't the thing we were looking for, so we're still looking. Somewhere in this maze of a boot. Yeah, how do you get there? I can't run along the... I don't think I'm pretty sure I can't cross the swamp when I'm small. That doesn't make sense to me. So I don't think I can use the Pegasus boots when I'm small. I'm pretty sure I've tried. And that's almost as good as checking again. Let's see. Yeah, if there's an enemy, I guess that probably means I haven't been here yet. Those guys in partic. Sucky, 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 dude. So many items strangely laid out around the perimeter of the inventory as if to be the... as if to intentionally take the longest to select. Ah! The shoreline of the water counts as not swamp, so you can walk around in it. Oh. Oh yeah, I haven't been on the side yet. I got the thing! I've been on the other side of this cave. Okay, now we're ready to head back. I did the thing. I did the thing. I did the thing. I did the thing. Eh. Can I hop off? Nope. I kind of thought that might be the implication of the spikes, is that you're not allowed to drop off of that stuff anymore. I can't go that way. So I think I want to go back up here, actually. What was the cadence? What was the tone of this phrase, the sentence? Speaking voice I have landed on. Is it like, just give me a second to pick up this grape. There's a grape over here. Just gotta pick up this grape. Well, it's a good thing I figured out this mechanic again, because it was about to be very mandatory. Just extremely, just oppressively mandatory. And I would have been very confused if I got here and didn't know how to do this mechanic. Alright. That swamp's dead to me, bye! This is the pause and look at and pick up an item playthrough. Honestly, though, even when they give you slightly more slots, that just kind of lets you have like I always do end up having like a couple of like crutch items that I like having all the time. Kind of like how it vaguely makes sense to always have your shield out, it feels like. Or something like that, or your bow maybe, or your bombs. Probably not your bombs, they make me nervous. Anyway, I'm just gonna not do your job, I'm just gonna leave now, bye-bye. So I do end up, even when I do have 4 slots that I can map, or is it 3? It's usually more than 2. Even when I have more, I do usually end up just, hello? Even when I do have more options, I do end up pretty much just, swapping out one slot over and over again every time I need to use any item. It's just the trap of this design type thing. Hello.
These soldier statues here were built by the Minish ages ago to help humans. It's kind of a secret, but there's a switch inside that turns them on or off.
Kinship. No. There's a switch inside of the robots?
How? How?
Wait, was there more to do up here? No, staircase. I can't go upstairs. Do I do it with you? Gah! That would invert the switch, right? It doesn't even give you a satisfying ting. Okay. You become big boy. He's got a belly. Oop. Dad bod castle guard. Oh, a switch inside. Like, oh, they have a little ladder. Now do I pilot the mech? Am I gonna drift? Am I gonna Tokyo drift? You can't turn, can you? Seems like a bad fate to live through. And then you don't have to deal with that ever again. Because he'll probably respawn. Right. Now. Well. Ah. I'm a button mashy boy. I was raised in the mash mines. What? It was a monster mash. Don't see much to do around here. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. I cleared them all out, but they're just gonna respawn, aren't they? And like, it's tempting to clear out all of these things that would make it harder to get to the dude, but... They're just gonna respawn them all, right? No? No, I took out all the obstacles. I swear sometimes stuff respawns when you transform.
I'm so small.
Right. And now you're death. Now you're dead about death. Look at me! They're not very good at their job. They're really more effective when they're literally not doing anything. Which may not be the best sign for your, job expertise. That's slightly suspicious looking, so I'm gonna try to blow it up. Nope. The Kokori blading, it probably did increase my damage, because I swear these guys used to take more damage. Or less, they used to take more hits to kill, I mean. Oh, it went to block the thing. What a... kind of rude. Haha, I'm behind you. Infinite advantage. You're completely fucked. That's hysterical, just how completely screwed they are because I'm behind them. Wow, shells that are stupid. Gems. Rupees. Why can't I hurt him? That's the direction you can hurt them from, is behind their shield. Why did he just run for that spot? It's rude. Can I climb up his back? I guess the idea is I just turn him off. He also mysteriously gets out of the way when I get small. Video game logic. It's barely coherent. Let's go. Stuff that flows as a... You can see why they did that, but not as like, why would the world work that way, or that character work that way. It's like very like, what? Why? Aha! Your rock backs are useless against me now. Yeah. Weren't expecting that, huh? You're dead to me. I'll collect the shells when I see them, but they are just a thing that's useless that turns into another thing that's useless. But also is incredibly time-consuming, so you can't even quickly redeem them. You'd be like, wow, here's all the prizes you got! It's like, one by one, pull this chain, and I can just see the fact that the process of redeeming those will take, like, an hour.
To think the ruins were hidden within the cliff this whole time! Watch your step, Micah. There may be traps in here. Krazoa Palace!
I just realized that's what I was doing.
It's like Chipon Doku Top Soto Krazoa Palace!
Star Fox Adventures. It was both better and worse than I expected, at the same time. It's really hard to defend a game just not having a final boss. Like, they just forgot to... I guess this is spoiling Star Fox Adventures a little bit, but if anything, it just preps you for the disappointment, because the game is very obviously telegraphing a very specific final boss. You know, the villain. And then it just never happens. Like, they forgot to make it. Like, when you get into the chamber, it gestures at that being the final boss. But it's like a non-fight for a few seconds, and then they just do something else instead. Like, they just, like, forgot. Troubled game development. That game started off as a Nintendo 64 game. There's, like, a fan recreation that, does that. Didn't used to be a Star Fox game, which is, like, very common knowledge, but... it was, or it was still an anthro, like, furry type game. I think its original protagonist was called, like, Saber or something, and he was like a wolf. So changing him into Star Fox was relatively straightforward. Unfortunately, I think the leaked Nintendo 64 build has still has the Fox McCloud model. But I think people went back and tried to mod Saber, or whatever his name is, back into it. Just to try to make it feel like they have access to this piece of history where you could play as the original character and all that. Which is neat. I've heard that it's kind of unplayable and unbeatable and just kind of like... not quite worth doing a... I was tempted to follow up the Star Fox series by doing a series on its original Dinosaur Planet 64 thing. But it looked like it was didn't have that much to it, and would very quickly dead end, and that people kind of have to like hack it to skip around. But there might be, I forget, there might be like a restoration process project that's like maybe getting further over time. I'm curious about that. Because it's interesting to find weird, forgotten Rareware games from back in the day. That's always cool to see. If he was probably standing on the Switch that's exactly far enough away to actually do this mechanic, I bet. Oh right, you have to wait till it finishes. We have to be very careful not to hit any walls or he disintegrates. But I was looking forward to Star Fox Adventure for a long time because I like Zelda type games and I like, I don't know. Because furries and how they treat those characters. Ah, fuck! Why do I keep pressing this? Oh, okay, I keep pressing roll reflexively. I am very conditioned to like Fox and Wolf. But Wolf's not in that game. But I like games that let you have an avatar, like Star Fox, but I don't like... That's the bait, the disappointment of the Star Fox franchise, is that all the other games, you're in a ship. So you don't really actually see much of the characters that it's famous for. They're just off in the corner in the part of the screen you're not looking at because you're too busy flying a ship. Like the little jabber face, little blah, 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 talking faces are more for the audience than you, because you're playing the spaceship game and can't look there all the time. I found out about Star Fox because of Smash Brothers, and I was like, oh, what's this cool franchise? I want to play the game they're from, and then I saw the game they're from, and I'm like, oh, you're a spaceship. Like my least favorite genre of video games.
Hmm? Did something just fall down, or was it just my imagination?
My death. I like Rogue Squadron type stuff a little bit more when the camera follows you around and you can free roam and do bombing runs or whatever, but I don't like spaceship games very much in general. So for me, the part where Star Fox Adventures tries to actually pander to its core audience and actually have Star Fox levels is the worst part of the game for me. I'm like, ew, no. Okay, it's probably not the worst part of the game. There's actually a lot of genuinely bad things in the game. Star Fox Adventures, like I said, is both better and worse than expected. I remember there being some interesting ideas, but it's also, like, supremely disappointing in a lot of ways. It just has a lot of weird tedium and just concepts that just aren't very fun in execution. Alright, so I just went in a circle. Going back this way was pointless. To the point where I'm like, should I just go back? I should just jump in the hole again. And go a different way now. That's a spot for being small. My, what big dungeon you have. Hi, if you could stop living, thank you. But yeah, if you think that the ending of a game should be a culmination of the talents that you were practicing throughout that game in a big final encounter, Star Fox Adventures will just disappoint you supremely. They never got that memo at all. As much as I get frustrated by the Yakuza games because their final bosses are often incredibly overtuned in a franchise that's full of fodder enemies that just aren't practiced and don't actually teach you how to play the game at all. So it feels like you're like getting blindsided by a really tough fight out of nowhere that the rest of the game wasn't even really about, because it's like the rest of the game is practically just like power fantasy, free winning and no challenge and just goofy as shit. At least the endings of those games use the skill set you were working on, even if it feels like a bit much. It's always wild to me when a game either just doesn't bother having any kind of mechanical ending and it only has a narrative ending. Oh no! Dr. Wallman's back. Oh, that's not a hole that goes places. Maybe if I murder him, it'll let me go somewhere. He's dead. Eyeballs! Have I been missing those? Have there been more eyeballs? And whenever I see a game that just straight up doesn't have any kind of mechanical ending and only has a narrative ending, I'm like, oh, okay, they just didn't finish this game. I guess I understand that concept. That's very disappointing, but it's comprehensible. When a game has a mechanical ending that is just a completely different form of gameplay than the rest of the game, that's when I get very confused, because I'm like, you had time, you just made something completely baffling. Like when a game ends in a bizarre mini-game instead of any of the stuff that the game is. I think Uncharted 1 was like that. Uncharted 1 ends with like a QTE encounter instead of a boss fight. You just press the right inputs to win for free. Thank God for rolling. TGFR. I see eyeball. Help. Is this open? What was the point of using the key and getting this path? What? I opened up a teleport, but that just goes back to the beginning, right? What did I accomplish? Usually you get a key and that opens a door and that's how you proceed to the dungeon, right? This just set me back to where the door opened. I don't have another key. Hello. You got the map. You got the map. You got the map. You got the map. Okay, everything on my right has not been explored yet, as expected. Pew, 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 pew. That's where this goes. But why? So I need the dig power that they're clearly gonna give me here. I can push that pillar onto that. Well. This place is dead to me until I got Mr. Driller powers. Where do I go? Where do I go? Where do I go? Where do I go? Here we are. The pause menu opens to my inventory 90% of the time, so whenever it opens to anything else, I get confused and try to press a different button to reopen my inventory. I'm like, oh, I pressed the wrong button, obviously. But it's just because I actually used the map or something recently. Or the other screen, the most useless one of all, that just lists the power-ups you have so far. It's obviously not, like, literally useless, it's just I never would have reason to go to it. Not overflowing with needs for reminders there. No! My roops! Return my roops! My Rube Goldberg machine. Okay. Ah! Yeah. Okay. This is happening now. Oh, hi. Oh. I was so fast. Look at me go. I gotta get over here now, please. Eh. Oh boy. Oh boy. Could be going better. Oh, it's gonna go so slow. Okay, thank you. One of these is the correct way forward, one of them's a side way. Come on over here, buddy. I want to windmill technique this whole room. An arrow for a snake seems overkill. This mechanic's neat, I just wish it didn't take so long. Having to charge an entire meter is a bit much. You know what mean? I feel like this is bad. I guess we just have to change orientation, yeah. Hop, 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 hop. Hop, 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 hop. I figured that you have to push this one backwards. But in the moment, it seemed like I didn't actually need to. It was calling to me that I probably needed to. But then I saw exactly why I needed to. It all became clear. In a moment of intense shame. As many things in life do. Oh. Bye. Ba-da-da-da. Where did this go? Wakey wakey. Wakey wakey shake and bakey. See how intuitive it is to just continue the moment it lights up and not have to wait for a weird meter? Like, I immediately am like, oh yeah, let's go. I got feedback and everything. It's like, the games are like, yeah, it's time. Oh, this would have been a good time to be ready with the... Okay, never mind, you can't shoot an arrow while you're duplicated. Here, I thought I had to, like, do a co-op arrow and perfectly sync it up. That would have been satisfying. It's the compass. This room is optional. The moment I passed it and something else happened, I figured it was optional, but I thought it was going to be a different kind of reward. Like a kinship or a hard piece. But instead it was the compass, the thing that I usually don't even need. But it's just part of the cadence of Hyrule, the cadence of doing a dungeon. It's part of the process. It's part of the process. You gotta believe in the process.